Hi and welcome. So I could do a 3-minute video, but sometimes I find I just can't work out what the exact button is that someone's pushed in their short video. So in this video I'm going to try and go through everything. I'm just going to go a little bit slower. We'll jump in the cockpit. So the first thing I'm going to do is just say have a look at the description of the video, because all of the steps I'm doing are in the description, so that's a good guide. But I'm just going down here to part sep. I'm just hovering above that, particle separator circuit breaker, click that. Then up here, IFF, I'm going to IFF circuit breaker switch, click that. It's this left mouse button. Then we're going all the way up to here, we've got ignition, circuit breaker switch, left click that once. And then up here we've got the FADEC circuit breaker switch, left click that once. So then we've got up here anti-collision light, left click that once. And then we're just going all the way over to here, it's battery. Now I believe this one you've got to right click. So battery 1 switch, and it's in place. Now the next thing to be aware of is you're going to have to hit the acknowledge button. So if I go into controls and I just do joystick, the button I'm talking about is this multifunction keyboard, acknowledge recall switch, acknowledge. So that's the button we need to push, and when you hear those sounds which are annoying, we're going to have to hit it a few times. So we're just waiting for that first sound. There we go, and we whack it, and we're all done with that. So next thing to do is just go down here. We've got the switch for the ignition. You right click that once, and it's going in that direction, so not straight up, in that direction. If you keep clicking it multiple times, see how it just clicks back and forth, so just make sure it's in the sideways direction. Now the next thing is this RPM, so we've got to increase it. So to show you that, what I'm using is this, I'm putting it on my throttle increase. So you're just doing that until it's full. So throttle increase and do it till it's full. So I go get throttle increase, and it's done. Alright, now the next thing to do is we've got up here is our starter button. So all we're doing with this is we're holding down the left mouse button, and you've got to count for a few seconds. So clicking it and counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and then let go, and the plane will start up. But the next step is we're waiting for that acknowledge sound. So see the acknowledge sound, so we're going to push that acknowledge button again, gets rid of the sound. So up here we've got nav align, so I'm going to left click the button next to that, and then all the way over here next to fast, I'm going to click on fast. So that's all set up and done. The next thing to do is I'm just checking I got weapons on board. So I'm going to hit this. I'm going to adjust controls. I go to joystick, and I'm pushing this weapon select switch right. So weapon select switch right. I'm doing that from the pilot position. So I hit that, and then down here we've got launch. It's on standby. So what I want to do is I want to change it from standby. So I'm going to left click once, and then left click again till it says norm, NORM. Once it says norm, then we're all good. Then we're going to go up to here. Up here we've got 3 buttons. We're going to right click these ones. So on this one, DC generator switch, right click. On this one here, we've got AC generator switch, right click. And then on this one here, we've got essential bus run start switch, right click that. Up here we've got fuel boost, so right click that. And then all the way up here, I've got some more light switches. So position lights, you can left click that, right click that twice, and also this one, floodlight switch, right click that twice, so it's just on white. Okay, so all of that's done and out of the way. Now this little thing here, we want one little yellow chiclet. So to do that, all I'm doing is I'm going to make a button that has this engine RPM trim increase dash center. I'm just clicking that button. Increase RPM trim increase center. So I do tap that, and you can see now we've got the small yellow. That's all I do. I'm just tapping it once. Now we can jump to the second position, and we're just doing a few things here. So we've got arm. So I'm going to right click this twice, so it's on arm. This one down here, again, we'll just keep right clicking now. We right click it until we're on FWD. And then all the way down here, we've got the master. I'm going to right click and then right click again until it's on armed. We're still on the ground, but it's on armed. So over here we've got MMS. I'm going to left click that once, and this is referring to this device up here. We want to spin it around because you can see it's facing the wrong direction at the moment. So in order to spin this around, I've got to push a button. That button is going to be this. So SCAS panel force trim switch. That does seem wrong to me. Pilot, we've got to change to Copilot. Then we go to Joystick. And then we've got the button, hopefully. Here we go. MMS manual slave mode. So you're pushing this button and you have to push it twice. MMS manual / slave mode. So we go down to here. I clap it, push it once. Nothing happens. It goes into manual mode. Then I push it again and then it spins around. So if we jump outside, we can see it spinning around now. Okay, good. So all this side is now set up. We can jump over to 1 by pushing 1 on the keyboard. Some other things we've got to do are just down here. So we've just got to turn the pitch roll to the upward position. Just seem to be unable to do. Power switch on. This here, SCAS to yaw on. And pitch roll to on. So all 3 of those are on. Just make sure both 3 are on. And that's all good. So basically at this point you can take off and you can fly to your destination. When you get to your destination you want to let the AI take over. So that's when we are going to jump and push 2 buttons. So I've got it set to this. Pilot AI on. And then you want to push this perform hover. So that will turn the AI on. And then you can perform the hover. So that's the 2 buttons I'm going to be pushing in just a moment. But we'll take off and then we'll fly there. Taking off, look, basically just joystick back slightly and to the left. And then just give it collective. The only other thing to do is to give it a little bit of left rudder. It's pretty difficult to do it without rudder pedals. But if you had a joystick, of course you can set your rudder pedals to your joystick and turn it left a little bit. So I am using rudder pedals. We'll just get it up in the sky. And then we're away. And we'll start going towards where we want to go. I'm not going very far. Just up towards the end of the runway. It's really beautiful to fly this helicopter. That's probably the #1 thing I think a lot of people like about it. If you just fly it normally and don't try and hit any extreme limits, then it's beautiful to fly. From a gaming perspective at least. So that's really good. So we just go up to here. And then I'm going to hit those 2 buttons. So once I'm to here, I'm just pushing on the joystick, pilot AI on, and then perform hover. So you'll need to set that to something that you can remember. So
Roger that.
Pilot AI on.
Alright, let's see if I can pick up a stable hover.
And then hover. So he's going to now hover for me, and then that's all out of the way. Now we can get back to the weapons and firing them. So we've got 2 Hellfires on here. You could put 4, but we've just got 2. And then there's a little bit of a step if you need to shoot the 4th one. But for the moment we don't need to worry about that. So I'm just going to jump over to the second position, sorry, by 2 on the keyboard. And then we need to get control of this. So in order to do that, we're using that slave switch again. So we hit that button, which would be on the joystick, but we've got to change the co-pilot now on the joystick, and you have MMS manual / slave mode. So I go and hit that, and you can see it stops moving. It says manual, and then we can move it around. So now to move it around, we're using these. So MMS line of sight, slew down, up, left, and then right. So I realize I'm doing this whole talk very slowly, but it's pretty important. If you can't work this out, MMS line of sight, LOS slew up, down, left, and right. So that's what you're looking for in here. So if I go now and send it down, we can start looking for our targets and so forth, and we can see them all the way out here. So now the next thing is I need to be able to zoom. So to zoom, I'm going to push this. MMS FOV, narrow toggle down, 2 times, 4 times HDG, menu item scroll down. Okay, so we're using that button, which you can see on the screen there, MMS FOV, narrow toggle down. So I go and whack that, and it clicks once, you can click it again, it goes and zooms more, and then click it again and it zooms more. So it's a pretty useful button. So what we'll do, we do have a moving target up there, but we'll just choose one of these stationary ones. So we'll go over to this guy over here because he's past the tank, and we'll zoom in just a little bit more, and then we'll go above him. So now we don't have a target lock on him or anything like that. So what we want to do is we push this button, MMS point track on, OG menu selection confirm. So yeah, MMS point track on is the button we're pushing, and that's what you're looking for in here under Copilot. Now the next little step, which I just want to point out, is you actually got to find under Pilot. So for the laser, you can do fire laser, that's cool, press and hold, so that's what you're looking for to set up. But the other thing is you'll find is under Pilot. So for the actual fire, it's not under Copilot. And you see here, fire weapon first detent, and then fire weapon second detent. So that's under Pilot if you're trying to make sure you can set up your joystick for that. That's the only little bit, which is a slight little bit tricky, because you think it would be still under Copilot, but that's under Pilot as far as the controls go. So what we need to do now is we need to target him. So again, I'm just going to be using this button, MMS point track on. So we go MMS point track on, we've got a point track on our target. Great, so now I'm going to laser him. So I'm holding down the laser button, and then I'm going to fire by firing. Now there's one important thing which I'm missing here. In the top left, you see how it says RNG? We need to change that. So you need to click it once, and so it says A1688. That's the other little trick, because if you don't do that, you'll never get the missile off and you'll be wondering what's going on. So you just have to click this square here and then change it. So now hold down the laser and then fire. So our laser's away. And we can watch our laser. We should still be firing our laser at it. And we got an exact target that we were targeting, which is a good sign too. So we'll just check if we've got any other missiles left. We do. So we'll go target another one. Now to deselect, all that I'm doing is I'm just whacking this MMS point track on. I'm just hitting that button again, and that gets me back to manual mode. Then I can just move it around, go find my next friend. We'll hit the same button, got the point track on, hold down the layers button. We don't have to hit the A again, I believe. It's only for that first time, and then just hold down the fire weapon detents. Leaves the aircraft. We'll just watch it from here this time, and we'll wait. Now notice I don't have any countdown anywhere. If there is one, I'm not sure where it is. So we're just hoping it doesn't hit the tank going past and it really hits this one, and it hits that one exactly. So look, this aircraft is really quite reliable, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. We've got a couple of Hellfires and you need to bring it along. Pretty good. So once you've done all that, we can go jump back to here, and we need to just get the hover off. So to do that, I believe you can just push the hover commands or these things. Either one of these is going to do it. On the joystick, you've got your hover button, and then you've got your just checking which position I'm in. Yeah, I'm in the pilot position. Got to change it to pilot, and then that's the perform hover, and then that's the pilot AI on. So I believe just one of those turns it off. So we'll just try that. It's a pilot AI on button. I'm just going to whack.
Roger that.
So that's still pilot AI on. If I push this button,
Alright, let's see if I can pick up a stable hover.
that's pilot hover on. So what probably would be a good idea is I'll just set a button to pilot AI off. So you can see pilot AI off. I do have a button to it, but I'm not sure what I'm using. Number 33. Okay, so pilot AI off. That's easy enough for me. So you push pilot AI off.
Roger.
Make sure you get your controls, especially your rudder pedals, because that's what you're probably not holding down. And then you can just fly back to your airport. So we'll fly it back. Just bringing the collective back. You can bring it back aggressively, but you're going to have to bring it back in when you're finally getting to the point where you want to hover. So about here, you're going to have to bring that collective back in. And then just feel it and see if you need to give it more collective. So in this case, I need to give it a little bit of collective. And we're okay. And we're just heading over towards where we sort of took off. We've burnt our speed off. But yeah, the flight models on this is really good. I did have curves, but I've actually turned the curves off. So if you're wondering what are my curves, I'm using none. It's just the default. Yeah, I'm using no curves now. We can just let it go on the ground. Cool. And so now we just want to get it to shut down. Let's have a think about what we could do to do that quickly. Now I believe there was a like idle release or whatever. So if we reduce the RPM, then you have to click that button and then keep holding it down, and then it goes past that switch. So on the throttle, I'm just holding down that throttle decrease. And then with the mouse, I'm clicking on the yellow button. I'm just clicking on the yellow button with the mouse. And so that gets it down to off, pretty much. We can turn the key off. And then we can go up to here, if we had to do a really quick shutdown, and left click once. And we'll see if that shuts it down in the quickest possible way for gaming purposes. But I think that's one of the quickest ways you could shut it down. And then you're back to being on the ground. So yeah, hopefully that is a little bit useful to you. I've gone through it super slowly. I could do a 3-minute version, but I'm just finding, even looking at other people's videos, I can't work out what button I'm supposed to click. And it didn't work out useful to me. It's just too quick. So YouTube, you can just quickly race through the video, get to the bit you need as you go through the steps, and then you go, okay, yep, that's the button I needed, perfect, thank you very much. And yeah, that's the video I needed someone to make, so I've made it, and hopefully help someone else. And it's really useful to me to come back to, because there is so many modules in DCS, and it's easy to forget how you flew a helicopter like a year ago if you haven't looked at the module in a while. So it's great just to have something as a source to come back to and work out what that little key is that I wasn't knowing about. But this will get you up in the sky, started, fire your Hellfire, come back, and you can turn it off. Thank you very much for watching, and enjoy your day.